in case there is anything that is shared here, some terms that are unclear, please feel free to ask. There is no interruption. At some level, we know that what we experience through the senses does not reveal the entirety is not the complete revelation. Somehow we know whether it is through having a peek in the beyond, or whether having an intuition of the beyond, that there is grace, there is a reality that is not perceived through the body-mind. And also we know the glory, the beauty, the infinity, the limitlessness the causeless joy, that is our true destiny. We sense it. We feel it. We know that it is not a mind impression. That peace, causeless happiness, freedom is not a mind impression. Mind impressions come and go like the weather. They are not a problem. We know that there is a placeless place that is free of problems. That is free of concern, free of angst. Free of contraction. Free of this sense of limitation. And the mind says, it is available to you sometime in the future. But we know that there is trickery in a promise of happiness in the future. Oftentimes we feel that there is so much happening in our life, too much. Or maybe the other end of the spectrum, that there isn't much happening in my life. My life is empty. We look out through the senses and we wonder what sort of image, what sort of perception, what sort of experience can bring us the peace. And so, habitually and naively, we follow the senses, seeking experiences, situations, relationships. That might bring us the revelation of the freedom. But the mind is always in time. It is promising you happiness tomorrow. And it's always dissing what's happening now. There isn't enough happening, or there is too much happening. I'm in the wrong place, I'm in the wrong job, I'm in the wrong relationship. It's always dissing what is happening now. And out of our kindness and sense of play, after all, nobody is forcing us. We go along with the mind. We say, yes, yes, I will be happier if I have a different relationship, a bigger house, a different job. If I live in a different place, if I'm healthier, if the body is healthier. Because no one is forcing us to go along. After all, the mind is our own creation. Like in the night dream, nobody's forcing those dream events and dream characters into your night dream. At some level, you choose that, you choose those dreams. You choose to say, yes, I will be happy when I get enlightened. The Buddha got enlightened, so he's happy. So when I become a Buddha, I will be enlightened and I will be happy. But the Buddha's enlightenment was saying that the natural mind, the ordinary mind, is the extraordinary mind. That awakening, joy, peace, freedom is not in time and space. It is what you are. It is what you truly are. But it is not possible to feel the happiness and to enjoy the nectar of freedom, beauty, and love when we are identified with the body-mind. Because the body-mind is in time and space, is a mortal event, is a shifting event. The beauty of adolescence is temporary. The health of the body is temporary. But what forces us? What imposes on us this identification? What is so convincing? What is the argument that is so convincing that I am a body-mind, that I am a man or a woman. Why are we so easily convinced that we are a mortal body-mind? Where is the mortal body-mind in deep sleep? Where is the body-mind when you're not thinking of it? After all, the body-mind is an experience you are having sometimes. Most often you forget you're a woman or a man. Right now you hear these words, you're not even thinking you're a man or a woman. Who needs to know that they're a man or a woman to hear these words? If you look at the content of your experience when your eyes are closed, your experience is that of bodily sensations. Heartbeat, certain warmth and moisture through your hands or your feet, sensation of your feet on the ground, tingling sensation in your back. What is the body? So you experience these sensations. What are these sensations without your knowingness of them? What's a sensation without your knowingness of it? So above all, there is your knowingness of hearing these words, your knowingness of anything that you experience, every thought, every sensation, every perception is made out of your knowingness. Without your knowingness, nothing is. Everything is made out of your knowingness. You notice that? You cannot know your knowingness, but you are your knowingness. You cannot know it as a perception, as a sensation, as some observable. But you know your knowingness as being it. You are the knowingness of hearing these words. And this knowingness is the same knowingness that knows these words right now, the same knowingness that knows the perception of the traffic when you're driving on 495. It's the same knowingness that knows the body sensations that you had this morning upon waking up. So the images on the screen, they change. But you don't. What you truly are, do not. And the images on the screen, whether they're thoughts, perceptions, sensations, bodily sensations, memories, feelings, are events, perceivable events. They're known, they're perceived. You can describe them, you can say, you can express the thought, you can describe the perception, you can describe the sensation, the feeling. It's a perceivable. The images are perceived, known. That the knowingness that knows this experience, that knows the thought, that knows these words, that is not a thing. That is not a mind event. And although it is not a mind event that is perceived in the same way that you perceive a tree, it is undeniable. It is the reality, the unchanging, unwavering, unmoving reality. That remains not a form, that is not a form, and yet perceives and knows all forms. You right now, you hear these words. These words have a certain form and shape, a certain wavelength, a certain vibration. But you do not. You are this borderless presence. No matter what words are uttered, soft words, gentle words, words in English, words in French, no matter what words are uttered, you remain the open presence, the openness. You do not get diminished or augmented by whatever events appear, by whatever thoughts appear, by whatever sensations appear. You remain untouched, unstained, unmoved. From the perspective of being identified with the body-mind, the impression is that things are happening to you. Things are happening to me, my life, my job, my home. They cut me off in traffic. Something is happening to me. Me being the body-mind, me being this energetic identification, this sensation, a me sensation that is maintained moment by moment through our attention that is directed towards through the senses towards the world body mind. We choose that path, the path of living through the senses, projecting a reality that is out there, an external reality that we as an internal self are experiencing. But if you pay attention to your direct experience, and it's always paying attention, it's always in the moment, in the present, right now. Externality, the external world is imitation. Your experience is not separate. You're not experiencing something out there. You're experiencing your experience intimately. Your experience is made out of yourself, your knowingness, your beingness, your presence. The substance that is not a substance. The substanceless substance of presence. They're not two. You couldn't experience a world out there. You experience your experience, and your experience is intimately made out of yourself. So nothing is coming at you. Nothing is coming at you. You're experiencing yourself. The impression of things coming at you remains as long as you remain in the identification. You continue to give your attention to what is manifesting as being the gist of your experience. But what appears is but a minuscule aspect of your experience. The images that appear on the screen are but a minuscule aspect of the screen. The screen is infinite. Like the wide open sky, the clouds are minuscule. They're insignificant in relation to the infinity of space and presence. So the concern is from mistaking yourself to be this dragon cloud or this angel cloud or this body mind. The concern comes from this identification with an experience, any sort of experience. It's still a limited event that's appearing to you, you being the vastness of being, the vastness of presence. So over and over, return. Don't move forward into the world body mind. Fall back into presence, fall back into the knowingness, into the relaxation. The tendency is to contract around mind events, whether it's a pursuit or an avoidance. They're both a form of contraction, a form of forward movement. It's a dream chase, chasing a pot of gold in the horizon. It's that chase of the pot of gold in the horizon that gives you the impression that something is lacking, that you are lacking a pot of gold. Happiness is not possible tomorrow. It's a hoax. If it's not possible tomorrow, then it must be nowness. It must be what is right now, right here, right now. Right here, right now. But there remains a trace. There remains a little imprint that says, yes, it is now, but and if I really do it right now, I'll get it. It still brings in that, movement towards. It's just the habitual tendency of the mind. But the mind, meaning thoughts, sensations, feelings, emotions, perceptions, arise in the openness of being, in presence. And presence is a relaxation, is made out, is the substance of presence is more or less it's complete relaxation. So you don't need to actually do anything to relax. You need to more sort of recognize it and just you don't go to bed and you try to solve all your problems as you go to bed. You just the heck with my problems. Yeah. So when you are loving the truth and living your love for truth, for freedom, not conceptually, really going for it anyway. Then the universe recognizes that. It recognizes that. And it helps you. It says, yes, you love me. I'm going to love you back. And the way consciousness loves you back is when you're on 495, it sends somebody that cuts you off in traffic. Why? Why does it do that? Because what happens then is that stuff that's stored in there, that righteousness, that habitual anger, comes up to be released. Comes up to be released. Yeah. So we say yes. We say yes. Yes. Your partner disappoints you, makes a promise, does not keep it. How do you feel? Not very happy, right? All this is coming up to be released. It's releasing out of the space. It is not a punishment. God does not punish you if you love her. It's your choice. It's your freedom to love. And when we love and we decide to love, we love unconditionally. We love everything. Yes? We love everything. We don't love if, he or she does this and that. Then, then, okay, 10 points, or you did not, that's -5. No, it's not like that. When you love completely. There's great beauty in loving completely. It's a freedom. There's freedom in that. It's joy. It's a cosmic dance. A beautiful cosmic dance, that of love. So how can you live according to your love for truth, and still have an agenda, have your personal agenda about how things should be in your life, where you should live, how your work should be, how your partner should be, how your children should, etc. It's speaking of both sides of your mouth, something like that. In love, we surrender our personal agendas. We trust God. We're trusting consciousness. We're trusting our love for truth. We're trusting truth loving us, loving itself. We don't continue with our personal hopes and personal patterns that maintain the me impression. You see, all impressions arise in the openness of space, in the openness of presence. Every experience that you have, even a difficult experience, is arising in the openness of awareness, in your knowingness. And it is not you, it does not diminish you. If you are watching a sunny day, or watching a stormy day, or a snowy day, or a rainy day, it's the same you, unaffected. But if you want the sunny day to be rainy, if you want the rainy day to be snowy, if you want the snowy day to be Florida weather, etc., if you are relating with the world, with the body, with the mind that way, what sort of surrendering is that? What sort of love is that? What sort of beingness in that is that? It's a trick. But nobody's tricking you. You're doing that. You see? You're doing that. You're choosing, oh no, I want it to be sunny today. You see? And you have all sorts of arguments that support your point of view. Oh yeah, because the winter has been too long, and blah blah. There are all sorts of arguments, and heck, my niece is in Florida. She's very happy. My heat bill is too high. Blah blah. So there are all sorts of mind arguments that support your point of view, that maintain you in the conditional way of living. I will be happy if. I will be happy when. I will be happy given this and that and that and that will happen. My body, my health, my wealth, my relationship. You see? But you're not a body-mind. All these are appearing to you. You being a 12-year-old or a 20-year-old, all these appear to you. 25-year-old, these images, these appear to you. Being in Florida appeared to you. Florida appeared to you. New York appeared to you. This is appearing to you. But you don't appear as a thing. Yet you are. You are. And you know you are. You are, you know you are. Why? Because you are awareness. Awareness. And you know you are aware. You know you are aware. You don't need me to tell you, hey, you know what, you're aware. No. You know you are aware. You know you're aware. Ask yourself, am I aware? Of course I am aware. And then ask yourself, what is it that is aware? What is it that is aware? And what is it that knows that it is aware? Ask yourself that question. Can an object be aware? Can a form, any form, big form, red form, yellow, and can a form be aware? Can an event be aware? Can a fuzzy sensation in your leg be aware?
That one maybe.
Well, it is aware. The fuzzy sensation is aware. What perceives it?
There is one exception.
I started with the easy ones and I was getting to the ones that get a little sticky, you know. It's a perceived. It is perceived. A sensation is perceived. How can something perceived be aware? A tree is perceived. But yet, you are aware. That you know. Nobody's going to come and convince you. You know what? You're not aware. Believe me, believe me, believe me. You're not aware. You're going to have to, down quite a bit of gin, and then, it doesn't matter. You'll say anything then. But you know you're aware. What is it that knows? Form, something observed, something known, cannot know what knows it. What is known cannot say anything about what knows it because it does not know the knower of it. So when you observe a thought is something that is known, that you know. The thought cannot express anything true, anything about you that knows it.
Well, it tries.
Surely it tries. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes. Thought says, you are meaning.
I am this and this and that.
Yes. Yes. But we're contemplating that process. You see? We're looking at that and we're wondering, wait a minute, I am taking my cues about myself from something that I'm observing, from thought. And so I'm going to ask myself, wait a minute, I know thoughts. I know thought. But thought does not know me. So I might be making a mistake. You see? That's the contemplation. That's the inquiry. We're saying, wait a minute, could it be that up to now in my life I have been living with that mistake, taking my cues about me from an observable. You see? Mm-hmm. Because you observe a thought. You also observe a sensation, a bodily sensation. Yeah, like you can, for example, rub your leg, and you observe that. You know that. You perceive that. You perceive a thought. You also perceive a bodily sensation. What you perceive does not perceive. It is perceived. So how can it say something about you? You see, the finite cannot speak about the infinite. The infinite can speak about the finite and say, oh, this is a pink rose. Oh, this is a white rose. Oh, this is a thought about New York City. Oh, this is a thought about California. The knowingness can speak about what it knows, but what is known cannot speak about knowingness. And yet, as you just so rightly pointed out, we live that way day by day. This is why they say in the teaching, know yourself. Know your true self and know God. Know your true self. Realize what you are. Realize your true nature. And the revelation of the infinity and eternity of presence is revealed to you as joyful and causeless freedom, peace, and happiness. The infinite is untouched by the finite. Untouched by the finite. So, in the contemplation, then first we realize that I am the awareness that perceives. I am the knowingness that knows. Knows thoughts, perceptions, sensations, memories, feelings, dream images, etc. Aha! Then I am not the tree, I am not the thoughts, I am not the feelings, I am not the house, I am not my mother. I am the awareness, I am the consciousness that hears these words. Whatever it is, the reality that hears these words, this reality is you. You hear these words. The language, it's a language. We say I. It's fine, no problem. I, the reality that hears these words. And then we realize I is not a sensation. I perceive a sensation. I is not a thought. I perceive the thought. I is not a feeling. I perceive a feeling, which is a bodily sensation and thought. I is not a perception. I perceive the tree. Yeah? I perceive the screen. I perceive this face, whatever. Yeah? That's the first realization. I am what we refer to as I am consciousness. Awareness. I use the two terms. Awareness, consciousness, presence, beingness, whatever you want. I. Yeah? And then we contemplate. What is this I? What are the characteristics, the qualities of this I? Is I contained in this room? You look at this, you say, wait a minute. I perceive this room. Meaning, the room appears in me. I perceive this room, yes? Whatever. I perceive this perception, which we call the room. Right? I perceive this room, which means this room is appearing in me. Wait a minute. I perceive this table, which means this table is appearing in me. I'm looking directly at my experience. I don't care about all beliefs. I'm looking directly at my experience. So the table is limited, but I see the table. Am I limited? I, the awareness, what we call it, consciousness, presence, is this I limited? Well, it's not limited by the table. What limits it? Does a thought, maybe a thought limits me, I. Wait a minute. A thought is perceived. You perceive the thought, because if you don't perceive the thought, there is no thought. Right? Whatever thought that there is, whatever it is, you perceive it. The thought about mega galaxies is still a thought that you perceive. Or a thought about an ant is a thought that you perceive. So a thought you perceive is limited. The thought is limited. But the fact that the thought is limited does not mean I am limited. Because I perceive the thought is gone, thought B appears, thought B is gone, thought C appears, thought C is gone, I remain. So the limitations of perception, the limitations of a thought, same thing, the limitation of a sensation. That might be a little bit trickier. And you go to the sensation in your body, any sensation. Sensation, let's go to a sensation, the sensation of your belly. Go to the sensation of your belly. The sensation of your belly is known to you. You're turning your attention to it, and so you perceive it, whatever it is. Let's say it's a tingling, maybe bloating, dancing, gargling sensation, whatever you want to call it. Huh? You perceive it. Because if you wouldn't perceive it, it wouldn't be there. You perceive it. Yes? It's limited. It has a certain shape, a certain form. You could take a watercolor and sort of abstractly paint that sensation. You know, whatever, it'll be like some sort of abstract painting. Right? Even if the painting is done on 100-foot canvas, it's still a limited canvas. So the sensation also is perceived, is limited, but you that perceive the sensation is not limited. So you are contemplating, we are contemplating now. What is this I? I think we realize first, the first thing is realize that I am not the world, body, mind. I perceive the world, body, mind. I am not perceived, I am the perceiving. And then realize that the perceiving is not limited by what it perceives. It's, in a way, you could say, it could be limitless. I haven't found any limit to presence, to consciousness, to awareness. It's limitless. Also, this awareness, that hears these words right now, is me, is I, right? Because you hear these words. So we're not talking about some conceptual, this is not a philosophy, the philosophy of consciousness. This is exploration of the actual experience of consciousness. So I am consciousness, limitless consciousness. Wow. Huh? Don't you think, wow? I mean, we went from I'm a man and woman born in 19 and so and so, to I am limitless consciousness. Then the mind says, no, I don't believe that. I know I'm born in, So you go back over and over to your experience, because the mind is going to come habitually, and it's going to say, maybe not now, but to say, no, I'm me, I feel like I'm me. What does it mean, I feel like I'm me? There is a sensation or a feeling arising. that's known. Whatever is known cannot speak about that knows it. You have to go back. You see, in these meetings here in what we call satsang, you're just getting some tips, hints. But you have to.
So is practice the only way to break through? Is practice the only way to break through?
It depends what you're practicing, and it depends on what's the inspiration for your practice. If the inspiration is coming from the beyond, not from the mind, it's a beautiful inspiration. But if the inspiration is coming from the mind, then you'll be spinning. You get a certain understanding along your journey. It's important that you live as best you can your understanding. Without keeping a scorecard, without concern about the past, about success or failure. Always a fresh, with freshness, if brand new nowness, and not to sort of drag corpses along, in your journey. And past is illusion, so is future. Because the self is eternal, truth is eternal, it's not in time, time is in it. The impression of time appears in presence, presence does not appear in time. And of course, your love and your dedication to the realization of your freedom, your truth, your happiness. That will inspire the right choices.